As of March 2026, there has not been any official indictment for Carlos despite intense public pressure and calls from Meeks-Blackmon's family to lock him up as well. The Cook County State's Attorney's Office has not brought criminal charges against him as of early 2026. The case involving the death of Romeca Meeks-Blackmon has moved into the discovery phase, with the primary suspect, Quadajah Holly Johnson, facing charges of first-degree murder. But one name still keeps surfacing in all of these, an important person whom all of these centralizes on, one who need to be thoroughly investigated. Questions still need to be answered. More investigation need to be carried out before the final judgment is pronounced. Before we go on to the details, before we share the points the public need the authority to look into. Before we examine more details in this case, as the next court hearing is scheduled for April 1, 2026, we would like to use this avenue to appreciate the Chicago Authority, the security agents, county state's attorney's office, and the public at large. This is not about crucifying anybody or laying any false claim. It's about justice. Justice for Romeca. Justice for all. It is about seeing to it that something like this doesn't reoccur. If you are joining us for the first time, please subscribe. If you are here and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do now. Together we can get the deserved justice. Crimes, most often than not, are not usually committed by a single person. There is always a partner in crime. Who is the partner in this one? No one fair hearing can be obtained in any case without a proper, concrete, and solid evidence provided by the prosecutor against the defender. We appreciate the effort of the witnesses in this Romeca Meeks case. We say know something, say something. Now the details. A primary indictment is against Quadajah Johnson, who is currently in custody awaiting trial. Her defense is expected to argue self-defense, claiming she was being harassed or threatened by Meeks-Blackmon. Threatened? How harassed? By someone you claim you haven't met before the incident day. That is not where we are going today. Our focus is on other details. Other questions that the authority has not been looking into. Ongoing investigation. Detectives have reportedly examined digital records and witness statements to determine if Carlos acted as an accomplice, but insufficient evidence has been cited for an indictment at this time. Meeks-Blackmon's family continues to advocate for justice, holding rallies in her favorite color, pink.
I truly appreciate it. To the Attorney General, it's been 3 months of pain and agony. I just want to say thank you, Lord. Thank you. Justice, please. I just want justice. I don't want to fight with nobody. I don't want to argue with nobody. I just want justice for my daughter. And I want peace in my family. This has been such a hard 3 months. It's been painful. It's been we've been torn apart. One of the leaders of our family, she was the baby, but she was the leader. The holidays are not holidays. I'm just grateful to God. And I am happy on today's verdict. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. And all I want is to be done, is justice to be done.
And maintaining that both individuals at the scene played a role in her death. 1. Where was Carlos Smith before the incident on that fateful morning? On the morning of the shooting, Carlos Smith was reportedly at his residence, which is located in close proximity to the school where the incident occurred. Mark that. 2. Timeline before the incident. According to court documents and witness reports, before the shooting, Carlos was at his house with Quadajah Holly Johnson. The defense has clarified that Johnson had not driven from out of state that morning but had stayed at Carlos's residence, which means they must have discussed a lot. 3. The car switch. Shortly before the altercation, Carlos and Johnson were in the process of switching cars near the school. Carlos was reportedly dropping Johnson off at her vehicle after they had left his house together. Are you following? They were parked near the corner where Carlos typically parks, which is a short distance from the school where Romeca Meeks-Blackmon was dropping off her son. What are they still doing there? 4. The encounter. As Romeca finished dropping off her son and attempted to drive away, she reportedly spotted Carlos and Johnson together. Patchcom reported that a witness described what followed. Romeca and Quadajah began arguing, and Carlos stepped between them. Romeca returned to her car with Quadajah walking behind her. Romeca then stepped back out of the vehicle, and Carlos came up from behind, placing her in a chokehold with his right arm while striking her with his left. During the struggle, Quadajah was heard allegedly threatening to shoot Romeca. She then retrieved her firearm and shot Romeca in the face and leg as Romeca managed to break free from Carlos. Are you still following? 5. Witness called 911, not Carlos, reporting the shooting and stating that Carlos and Quadajah fist-bumped each other while Romeca lay in a pool of...
The 31-year-old mom was shot and killed just after dropping her son off at school near Romeca State in the South Loop. She had gotten into a fight with another woman. Both of them share a child with the same man who lives nearby. He was also at that scene. That other woman, also 31, shot Blackmon 3 times. One bullet struck her in the face.
Got a female black, light complexion, green tracksuit, has a gun, fighting with another female black, dark complexion.
The shooter stayed on the scene, and as you can see, a witness pointed out the shooter to police. One of the witnesses also said the father of Blackmon's child had her in a headlock before the shots were fired.
I'm licensed to carry.
It doesn't matter.
You shot somebody. What the wrong with you?
The man in the shorts is CJ's father. He's covered in blood.
How did she just walk away? How? When they told you that he had her in the headlock, how did he even walk away? Why did they was so easy to walk away? They tell me, look at the video, they bumping fences. I don't know about any of that because I really can't even focus.
Romeca was taken to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced deceased. When officers arrived, both Carlos and Quadajah were still at the scene, and witnesses identified Quadajah as the shooter. She admitted to firing the weapon but claimed self-defense, saying this was her first time seeing Romeca in person. She was released at that time. Quadajah, however, holds a concealed carry license and a firearm owner's id. Now the witness's statement. Witness statement regarding Carlos Smith's actions during the September 2025 shooting are a central point of contention in the ongoing case. While the state's official proffer focuses on Quadajah, Holly, Johnson as the shooter, eyewitness accounts highlight Carlos's physical involvement in the moments leading up to gunfire. According to multiple reports and witness statements cited in court and shared by Romeca's family.
Details came out in court today for the hearing of Quadajah Johnson, including the fact that this was the first time when the shooting unfolded that she allegedly laid eyes on Romeca Blackmon. We know that she and Romeca Blackmon, they both have children by the same man. And for the very first time, we are hearing from Carlos Smith. He was the man on the scene when this tragic shooting unfolded. So a lot of information came out in court today. Witnesses saying what they saw, but you were there. What's your reaction to what you heard came out in court today?
When I heard it, I'm just looking, you know, it was unbelievable, but I was there. And I know for a fact none of that happened, how they just explained it. But my truth will get out here, and I hope everybody understand. That's really it. I can't even say too much right now, you know, because it's just gonna feel like I'm going against them, they going against me, we just going back and forth. But the truth is going to come out.
6. The headlock and restraint. Witnesses reportedly told police that Carlos put Romeca in a headlock or a hug to restrain her during the physical altercation. The prosecution argues this de-escalation attempt or restraint left Romeca vulnerable when Johnson retrieved the gun. Some witnesses alleged that Carlos slammed the car door on Romeca as she attempted to get back into her vehicle to leave, preventing her escape before she was shot.
I'm just tired of the lies and everything, what they said I did. I know for a fact it wasn't true. I didn't headlock her, I didn't beat her with the door. I only try to defuse the situation. They keep deflecting away from that. And what I did made what they saying I did made it sound harsh, and I didn't do that. So we need justice. We need justice to be served too, the truth. And they keep deflecting from it.
The fist bump. One of the most controversial witness statements alleges that after the shooting, as Romeca lay on the ground, Carlos and Johnson shared a fist bump. This has been cited by the judge as a reason for denying Johnson's pretrial release, noting it contradicted a self-defense narrative. Instigation claims. Witnesses also stated that Carlos appeared to be the primary aggressor initially, and that Johnson interjected herself into an existing argument between Carlos and Romeca. Now listen to Carlos Smith's defense and counter statements. Carlos has publicly denied these allegations in various interviews and statements. Denied the headlock. He claims he was trying to break up the fight and never held Romeca in a headlock to facilitate the shooting. Denied the fist bump. He has explicitly stated that the alleged fist bump with Johnson never happened. Initial identification issue. Witnesses and family members have criticized Carlos for reportedly telling paramedics he did not know who the victim was, causing Romeca to be listed as a Jane Doe for several hours after the shooting. Did you hear that? I will say it again. Telling paramedics he did not know who the victim was, causing Romeca to be listed as a Jane Doe for several hours after the shooting. Before we continue, please take a few seconds and subscribe. Your support keeps the channel moving. Thank you. Legal impact of these statements. Despite these witness accounts, the Cook County State's attorney has currently only indicted Johnson for the murder. Legal experts suggest the written proffer indicates that because Johnson was the only one to retrieve, point, and fire the weapon, the legal burden for a murder charge against Carlos is significantly higher. However, the defense for Johnson is expected to use these witness accounts to argue that the situation was a chaotic, mutual combat, or that she was acting to protect Carlos. Would you like to know more about how Romeca's family has responded to Carlos not being charged? And the next court hearing? Subscribe, like, and comment. We read them.
I was actually the one at the scene. So I was the one that was yelling out to arrest her, because everybody wasn't doing anything. I was actually the one who called the cops first. And I saw them when they were fighting in the beginning, and I was like, this is not right. He was slamming her with the door when she was standing in her door frame, not even close to the female on the other side. So she was literally standing on the other side of the road, and her baby daddy was literally slamming the door on her back. So she went back into her car, came back out, and then this was when the baby daddy walked towards the other baby mama. After this happened, he grabbed her by the waist. She tried to wiggle away from him. Her arm was like literally almost getting free, with his arm around her neck this time, because he was holding her by the waist in the beginning and she wiggled out, After this happened, he had her in the, like, almost looking like a headlock to me on the side. And then the other baby mama stated, "I'm gonna shoot you, bitch. Watch me shoot you, bitch." And he stated, "Oh, she's gonna go get her gun. She's gonna go get her gun. Watch." And after this happened, she ran to the passenger side of her vehicle, grabbed her gun, went around, and when the woman, the mother, who slipped away from him for at least like maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, she shot her. And she shot her in the face, on her side, and in her thigh. And I saw him like holding her for a split second. Maybe he was in shock, but after he was in shock, I guess he picked her up, and when she was falling, like a gush of blood fell, like out of her body. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, I don't know, everybody else sees movies, you know what I mean, and they see put pressure on the wound. You know, why weren't you putting pressure on the wound? Why weren't you caring enough? This supposedly was your first baby mama, because when I was on the bus, I heard him and her screaming, and she was literally saying, she was like, I just dropped off my fucking baby. What? I just dropped off my fucking baby. Are you guys kidding me? As soon as I got off the 21 bus, and trust me, they got it. You know what I mean? Everything that I literally had to, I wasn't gonna let her die like that. You know, I literally looked into her eyes. That hurt me. You know, she says she dropped her baby off and you go. You don't know who she is. You know what I mean? And I was like, arrest her. She needs to get arrested. You know what I mean? They weren't even thinking. There was another black female cop who came up, and a Mexican shore cop. And I pointed out, I was like, the guns in her car, the guns in the car. Why wouldn't you give him the gun if supposedly this was, you know, a self-defense? You know what I mean? If it was up, hey, here's the gun, this is what happened. It was no self-defense. I swear to you, it did not look like no self-defense. It looked like you shot her because you were just angry or something. You know what I mean? And to me, um, when she shot her, it wasn't it. The female that got shot, she wasn't with any gun. She didn't have no weapon, no knives, no nothing. So what was it that frightened you so much? You had to run around your car, go into your passenger seat or whatever the case is, and you reached in to get your gun and shoot this woman. You know,